Do you think that everyone going into a marriage should have it at the back of their mind that a divorce is a possibility?
Yes, and that's also one big topic with women because they have this statement like, oh, you are preparing for failure or whatever. No, I'm not preparing for a failure. I'm preparing for all possible outcomes. It surprises me that with every other thing, men, women, we all plan things the most efficient way possible. But for some reason, when it comes to marriage, it's like, yeah, when you do that, you are weird, it is creepy, or it's like, oh, it's a red flag. But when you are planning a career, what are your plans? You'll be like, oh, I have to go to a school to get a degree and this and this and this. You have to sort of see marriage like that. So it's like, oh, what are the possible outcomes? What are the possible challenges you could have? And make plans for that. It's not because you are planning to head towards that, but yeah, you sort of have to put that into an account because it is a possibility. And in 2024, it's a big possibility because we have the stats to show us that, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I think statistically, it would be foolish to think it wouldn't be a possibility. And my argument is usually that to prepare for a divorce, you need a prenup. You should make a prenup when you love each other so much that you will only put things that are fair for the both of you in there. So that if there is a possibility, if in the future something happens, there's a huge misalignment and you have to split, you are not going to have to start discussing how to fuck each other's life up.
100%.
But that's how I say it. Yeah.
Let me throw back the same question to you. Actually, this is a previous question, by the way, about asking what you think about the marriage institution. What's your projection of marriage, of the marriage institution? Yeah, like 10 years to come in 2034, 35.
And ceteris paribus, right? All things being equal, nothing changing from today, really just moving forward, and we're not making any drastic change. Just looking at how it is today, I think there will be less married people in the future. Not less people getting married, but so many divorces that will have less people staying married. There are too many beautiful things about the ceremony itself of getting married, that they going to a very nice place to propose, picking a very lovely garden for your marriage. I've seen that it's so beautiful that you get to a particular age in life and you want that yourself, even for men. Like you might not act like, but it's like when you attend weddings, like there's this feeling of I want this for myself as well. But that's just the ceremony bit. The fact that we are struggling to stay together as couples because of different incentives and the different direction that society is going, I feel like what will happen is less people will stay in marriages if things don't change, but maybe just as many people are still getting married. So if we judge it by the number of people that get married at the institution itself, all the money that comes with wedding and stuff, it would remain as successful as it has been. But judging by the amount of people that stay married, I think it would have failed in the next 20 years.
Looking at how things are right now with the red pill and blue pill community, right? Like you can already see the projection or like the progression of things, how there is this new set of people saying, oh, we have to fix this, we have to fix that. Like it's also similar to like this discussion we're having, right? Do you think there is a breaking point to where everything sort of just resets? Because I believe there is a subtle gender war going on right now. At least that's how I see it. Like men feels like women are the problem and vice versa, right?
I believe that men and women, we love each other too much. Like all this gender war that is going on, we're just joking around. Women will continue in the direction of choosing a bear over men. And some men will continue to go in the direction of it's not attractive for me to be with a woman because all she wants is my money. And everyone will end up in a lonely spot and we will run faster than we ran away from each other to each other again. For that to happen, a lot of things will have to change, but that change will start from each and every one of us within our small
Bubble.
couple relationship. Whatever the subtle or not so subtle gender war that is going on, it would go on. We'll push it. We'll get to the extreme where the loneliness will magnet us together as if we'd never gone apart. And we're getting close to that point.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's exactly how I see it also. Yeah. I think the driving force then would be, at least the most important driving force would be the loneliness.
That's what will happen. So for me, from that perspective, I'm a little bit more hopeful about the future. I'm almost looking at what's playing out now and I'm like, let it run its course. It's fine. You will learn. We'll all learn. Hopefully not the hard way.
I mean, we learn either ways, man. Either the hard way or the easy way.
I said hopefully. If it's the hard way as well, all well and good.
I feel like there's this sort of obsession for humans, for all of us to have kids. So my question to you is, do you think that is true? One, and why do you think, if that is true, because I believe that is true.
I think majority of humans want to have kids. I want to have kids as well. And I think the reasons that I want to have kids for myself, because I want to have a progeny or multiple progenies. I think I want to build a community that is filled with my genes and my wife's gene, of course. Like I've told you this before.
Everywhere.
You understand? Like at Malika's or whatever. But like I want that. And the reason that I want that, I can't even tell you of course it helps me with dealing with society, because if I can build a community of family, this is the strongest community. So society influences my need for that, because family will have each other's back whether we like it or not. The second thing is that I think just as the human race is wired to try to survive and continue, there's something in our brain that just tells us that you need to do that. So this is simple biology, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Simple biology for your survival as a race, this is your responsibility. And that's why we feel like we need to do it. Of course, not everyone will be able to do it, and that's fine as well. Then there's also now the other condition of society. And I add society, this includes your family, your parents. They want grandkids as well. They want, so somehow you feel like that's also something you have to do. And it's that we have kids because, one, external responsibilities. I think when you look at it from the responsibility angle, it's not a responsibility that you want to happily choose. And I'll say this, I have a story. I have a colleague at work that I spoke to, and he said is married. They decided that they won't have kids. And I told him point blank, I envy you, because you are one of the few people that have arrived at the decision and the conclusion that you won't have kids. Not because you can't, not because you just thought about it, and you and your partner have that alignment that you don't want kids. Which means for them, he doesn't need to worry about, I need a house with a garden in the suburbs. He and his wife, they can always buy penthouses. They don't have to wonder, do we need a 3-bedroom? No. A 2-bedroom will always be enough for them.
They can go on vacation.
Always buy penthouses. Yeah. They can always travel anywhere. They can always pack up their bags, move anywhere. Yeah. They don't have to ever think about the kids' education. They don't, like, all the money they make, it's completely for them. Which also means that they can even afford to not save a penny in their life. They can always spend all their salaries and live on pension at the end, because it's just them. It's just the food that they will eat. It's just the place that they will sleep.
The idea of that sounds beautiful, right? I've seen people with kids. I also want to have kids, right? But I just feel like in this day and age, it's much more challenging than how it used to be raising kids, right? And with everything you just explained, it sounds interesting. It sounds like beautifully perfect,
bro. Right? Yeah.
Like, do you think that sort of idea changes over time? Do you think if you make that sort of decision, you could look back and feel like, I could have done it differently?
Maybe, but it's the same with the decision of having kids. I would argue that you can then decide to have kids, and then the kids are fucking riffraff. They don't make it seem like it was worth your while to have them. And then 20 years down the line, you're like, fuck, if I didn't have this fucked out.
Yeah,
I'm just making it
That's
extreme.
true.
So
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
think there's any decision that you potentially can't look back in disgust and feel like I should have made a different choice. And I think the only thing that needs to happen is that in the moment that you make your decisions, you should make sure that you have collected as much information that you can collect in that moment, and make sure that in the future you can tell yourself, I made the best decision for what I
At that
knew
point.
at that time. So
Yeah.
fuck it.
Yeah.